One of the most dangerous behaviors I see with digital professionals is that they let their careers happen to them. They stay on a safe, narrow course. No long-term aim, just getting by day. While comforting, this approach leaves you vulnerable to fast-moving trends in technology and business. More importantly, if you're operating this way, you're missing out on your full potential. You're literally leaving money, freedom, and happiness on the table. So if you're curious about a better career strategy, keep listening. Welcome to the Rising Digital Leaders Show. I am your host, Matthew Doan. Today's organizations are powered by digital capabilities, cloud, data science, cybersecurity, and much more. To be competitive, we must have tech-savvy leaders steering the ships. But these people don't come out of thin air. We must develop them. This show is for the technical experts of the world, those brave souls that feel unheard and lost in the crowd, but know they were born to lead. We need you to rise, to become impactful digital leaders. In these episodes, we help you undergo a self-transformation, developing the mindset and skill set that'll massively enhance your abilities, influence, and career potential. We take a different approach, pulling in lessons from philosophy, psychology, neuroscience, and history to enrich the professional and personal aspects of your life. Thank you for your time. Please subscribe to the Rising Digital Leaders Show. Now, let's dig in. Warning for you. This episode may offend you. You might recognize that you're making some of the big mistakes that I highlight here today. But you know what? You'll emerge from this episode with a massive advantage. There's a popular Chinese proverb that says, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. Same idea. For your career, wake up now and take massive action that unlocks a better life for you. So what are we actually talking about in this episode? It's about career navigation. Do you have a navigation system for yourself? Something that guides you over the long term? Can you paint a picture of your future self years down the road? Do you have clarity on what that life looks like? Think through all those elements: wealth, health, purpose, family, and so on. And then most importantly, do you have a strategy for navigating towards that amazing future you've envisioned for yourself? Today is about developing a career navigation strategy to make sure you get there. That's my job here today, is to shed light on what that looks like. And for our audience, those that work in the digital arena, your opportunity is unlike any others in the world. It's immense. Here's our plan for today. We'll first talk about the idea of comfort zones and the typical career pathway that most people follow. And then we'll follow that up with a 3-part navigation system for you to implement starting now. All right, first with comfort zones. One of my favorite authors in the world and entrepreneurs, Seth Godin, wrote in his book, The Icarus Deception, we assume that what makes us comfortable also makes us safe. That's a deceptive mentality. In his book, Seth makes clear that our comfort zone is different from our safety zone. Think of a football field, 100 yards long. It's huge. Your comfort zone is a 10-yard radius at midfield, a small circle that you choose to stay sheltered within, but it's what you know. It feels comfortable. In reality, though, your safety zone, that entire field, is much larger. It's wide open, ready for you to explore, but your subconscious mind is telling you to stay comfortable. Don't stretch too far, it says. This is all validated by psychological research. We know that what we program our subconscious with becomes our reality. So part of our episode today is to awaken to new opportunities, a new way to look at career navigation. When I work with and coach digital professionals, I see a very common theme. They focus on a narrow path and follow a prescribed career trajectory, something that they've seen others do before, so they take the comfortable bet and they follow suit. Take data science. In it, you might see a very predictable progression. Someone starts out very junior as an analyst, spends a few years there, then graduates to architect, and then eventually they become a full-fledged data scientist. Here, your sole purpose is to advance your technical skills to the point of mastery. But then what? What happens when you top out? Without the ability to flex to where the world is going, that skill set might become irrelevant. More importantly, you're capping your impact with this singular bet. With a purely technical focus, you can only do so much good and make so much impact, often implementing change within your local environment, doing one project at a time. Staying in a comfort zone like this is a very linear and predictable approach. In fact, most people in the world prefer this path. It's comfortable, and who doesn't want that, right? Most estimates say that we spend 1/3 of our lifetime at work. So that means your career is a massive investment. It's up to you to design it as something magnificent and rewarding. Staying within your comfort zone naturally limits you. We all know the leaders we admire most are bold. They're different. They go beyond the norms. They step outside their comfort zones. So why choose the uncomfortable path instead? It's about diversification. Just as you would with a stock portfolio, we want to make sure that we're making other bets in our skills and our career so that we have options over time. It also makes you resilient to market shocks. Automation is just one trend that might disrupt people today, but there's going to be others. We want to make sure we have flexibility over time. And when we have options, we can make pivots based on our different interests, based on different factors with our family or where the world is going. We want to have those options. There's also a value with the uncomfortable path in that you get to differentiate yourself. You have more impact when you don't look like everyone else. When you break free of the crowd, you can do more because more people see you and want to hear from you and give you those opportunities. And frankly, another reason for getting out of your comfort zone is because you have a bigger future envisioned for yourself. You want to do more and you have to do something different. All right, that's the comfort zone and how it relates to your career. Choose to stay in it if you need that near-term predictability. But for those listening, I'm betting you're ready to step outside and explore something more. So that leads to the second part of our conversation. What's the alternative strategy here? The main idea is that you need to adopt a better career navigation system. Think about modern flight for a second. Airplanes today have instrumentation, satellite guidance, intelligence coming from the ground, from all around them. They have communications, both human and machine. All of this generates a superior flight experience in getting flyers to their desired destination. Pilots don't just hop into the cockpit and wing it, pun intended. No, they undertake careful planning and training. Most importantly, they use an advanced navigation system in order to fly smoothly and to get to that desired destination that they have. The same idea applies to your career, especially in digital. If you're ambitious and you want to be a thriving digital leader, it's important to have a navigation system for your career, something that helps you understand your long-term overall vision while also guiding you in the here and now. All that said, I'd like to introduce you to a 3-part navigation system that you can start using today for your career. I call it the 25-5-1 system. 25-5-1. Let's go through those 3 parts. This all centers on goals. So first we start with a 25-year goal framework, okay? This is about understanding your long distance flight. When you think 25 years, that's a long time. I'm asking you to think about your goals over that time. You might think this is preposterous. Who can imagine themselves that far into the future? But trust me, it's worth it. I borrowed this idea from Dan Sullivan, the founder of Strategic Coach. He's the top coach in the world to entrepreneurs. In choosing goals that are 25 years into the future, you force yourself to make them evergreen, to make them timeless, because you need to make sure that they'll resonate with you 25 years down the road as much as they do now. So you need to make sure they're flexible, but still appealing from any stage in life. Think through things like finances, how you spend your time, travel, family, learning, relationships. These are all goals that you could define now in a way that apply to you at every stage in the future up to 25 years. And when you think in these quarter-century increments, it gives you space to relax and to make meaningful progress. Honestly, do you believe there's anything you couldn't accomplish in 25 years? Here's a thought. Each quarter is just 1% of that 25-year time span. That's 100 meaningful quarters to improve your life. That is a lot of runway to do a lot of good. Here, with this 25-year framework, we can let go of the rushed feeling where you're always thinking of time scarcity. And instead, we move to a state of time abundance. This all gives you permission to have patience. This mindset puts you at ease. You realize you're playing a different game than everybody else. This is a serious career advantage. Okay, that was the 25-year part. Next is 5, when we think about 5-year goals. This is your midterm flight. With 25 years as your backdrop, think 5 years ahead. Jot down precise details of your ideal life, the family aspects, type of work, autonomy, travel, finances, all of that. Next, reverse engineer the major shifts or milestones you'll need to go through in order to attain that vision. Zoom in on the career aspect for a second. Maybe you'll need to get 2 specific promotions to elevate to a new professional platform, something that gives you more prominence in the market, more authority, or ability to choose your next step. Or maybe you'll need to completely reinvent your brand and skill set in the next couple of years to start a fresh pathway. Regardless, 5 years is a good amount of time to undergo a significant self-transformation and make a meaningful life upgrade. Next, develop a list of options that could help you take off and sustain flight over this 5-year period. Be flexible, be creative, don't constrain yourself. Be open to various types of opportunities. Maybe it's an unexpected job change or the ability to co-found a startup. Maybe someone will offer you the chance to angel invest in a new product. These are all options that you want to think through in advance. Should you pursue them or they come your way, you want to be able to recognize them and take advantage of them when they do come about. Okay, that's the 5-year part. We've talked about the 25-year framework, and then we've chunked that down into 5-year goals to really look at the midterm. Now we act on the final part, the 1-year goals. This is the here and now method of flying. You'll be navigating headwinds, tailwinds, and turbulence in the coming days and months in any given year. But you'll also see some clear skies where you can fly faster. Within a 1-year time frame, again, this is minuscule compared to the 25-year outlook, you're able to make micro decisions that are directionally aligned with your bigger vision. Maybe that's asking someone to be a mentor. Maybe it's the development of a practical, marketable skill. Maybe you'll take an online course to enhance your mindset in a certain way, like upgrading your systems thinking abilities. For rising digital leaders, you might practice the art form of navigating organizational politics and acquire feedback from a trusted colleague. These are all examples of 1-year goals that you can work on and make meaningful progress within. That 1-year time frame is an opportunity for tactical experimentation and growth. It's also a great way to gauge and evolve your interests. You can then feed that self-discovery into your long-range goals. If, for example, you find you're interested in psychology, you might spend several months developing skill in it and apply that to your 25-year framework to incorporate psychology into what you do into the future. All right, so that summarized the 3-part navigation framework. 25, 5, 1. That's the main idea. We have a big picture view, and then we chunk it down into 5-year and 1-year increments. All right, to wrap up, notice that we're not developing anything too prescriptive or formulaic when it relates to your career. There's not a step-by-step nature. You're allowing flexibility. You're intentionally designing it that way. It's about getting out of your comfort zone, and you need creativity and dreaming to accelerate all that. You also need careful reflection on your goals, and you need to modify them as you learn more about who you are and what interests you. We need this type of flexibility for the long arc of our career. Again, what we're aiming for 25 years into the future should be evergreen, but we have all sorts of flexibility and little pivots we can make along the way as we journey towards that 25-year mark. And then if you're interested, we reset at 25 years and think about another 25. This is how we live a long and abundant life. So in summary, I hope this inspires you to take action and think differently about your career. And as you know by now, I believe digital professionals have an abundant opportunity in front of them, more so than any other profession in this world today. The world needs you, so it's really time to take advantage of it. One last thing I'd like to mention before we go. If you like what you've heard today, I've got a free email-based course for you. It's called The Digital Career Flight Plan. You can find this course at matthewdoan.com/flight. I go into much more detail in this free course on how to orient yourself for a thriving digital career, including how to evolve your mindset from job to career, the unique window of opportunity for those in digital, the specific leadership abilities that'll help you thrive, and how to take flight and sustain that flight over the long term. Again, this is my gift to you over at matthewdoan.com/flight. Thanks for the time. We'll connect again soon. This is your host, Matthew Doan. Thank you for listening to the Rising Digital Leaders Show. Again, my mission is to help you elevate your career as a digital leader and live a thriving life. I hope this episode sparks new thinking and helps you take meaningful action in your world. If you enjoyed the experience, I'd be so grateful if you subscribed and left a 5-star review. That's it for now. Until next time, my friends, stay virtuous.